Welcome back. This is episode 54 in our Let's Play series of Space Engineers Survival. So we got the integrated communications working. You'll see that I got this to display the cube grid's name instead of the nevertheless. This is not going to be a coding episode, but just because this is some code changes that I made, I'm going to go over them real quick. So here, when we send our we are sending the program blocks cube grid's custom name, which is relay sat 1, then the uranium, then the ammo across the antenna relay. I also figured out how to do the disconnect thing. Basically, in the receiver, when we receive a message, okay, so I created a second dictionary, first of all, that is also mapping the transmitter ID, but this time it's to an int instead of a string. The string holds the status. The int is the age, so how old the message is. And then when a message is received, if it's received over the RSN channel, save the data, but then we set the age to 0. And then when we update the displays, we get the age, and if the age is less than 2, then we're not going to show anything. But if it's greater than, if it's 2 or more, then we're going to show what the age is, and we're going to display that in parentheses. The parentheses are put in here. We're going to display that, and then the status data, and then we're going to increment the age regardless of how old it is. So if we go 200 ticks basically through here, going through here twice without getting a new message that resets the age to 0, then we'll start displaying how old the message is. And we'll know that we've been disconnected for however long and haven't received a message in that time. So just a quick demo of that. I go to the relay sat and just turn off the controller, because the controller is the one sending the message. If I turned off the antenna, I'd have to go out there and turn it back on. But I'm going to have to go out there anyway, but this will just show you easier. So I turned off the controller, and now that the message is getting stale, it starts to show you just how stale it is. And it's a little more than a second, because there's actually 60 ticks in a second, and we're doing every 100 ticks. So, I mean, you can get an idea of how long it is. But the point is that as long as this is counting up, or even displaying, this is a stale message. We're not getting updates, and it means something's probably gone wrong. We turn the controller back on and start sending messages again. This gets updated, and that error clears. Anyway, like I said, just a real quick code update on that since I figured all that stuff out between episodes. Now, what we're going to do in this episode is we're actually going to try to put that into position, and we're going to send it out in the general direction of that salvage station. I don't want to get all the way out there. I don't want to be in range of the salvage station's turrets. I don't want to get this thing blown up, because the 2 Gatling turrets that are on it are definitely not going to be able to handle the salvage station. But what we are going to do is we are going to load it up with ammo and uranium first. Because if we look here at the inventory for it, we've got 49 containers on there, it said over on the thing, and we can hold 25 times as much uranium as we're holding. We're not going to use all that, but we're going to use at least some of it, because that's not very much if it actually has to do stuff. So go back to the inventory that we're currently accessing and find some uranium ingots, because we've got 912 of them. And we're done refining everything that we had, but I'm going to just grab 200. I guess that should be plenty. And then we want the SIC small car 2. No, it's ammo, so it's in one. And it's not loading in here for some reason. It looks like... Do we have a shortage of some kind of resource? Are we missing magnesium powder? Yeah, we're all out of magnesium. Uh-oh. Alright, well, that's going to be a thing that we have to do. So I guess in the meantime, I will just take what I have. Why can't I put that back? Because I think some remote accessing it, maybe. Yeah, we'll get ourselves an even 100 in there. But that is not docked up to anything. It's just kind of floating free on the bottom of the industrial complex. We got to actually walk out here and load it in manually. We got to find an accessible cargo port to do that. Screw it. So I'll stick all those in there. Stick all that in there. And that should all get pulled in. No, I didn't take all the ammo. Stick in the cargo container. We have more room in the cargo container. This should get pulled into the reactor. Unless I turned off the conveyor on the reactor. No, I didn't. So that will all eventually get pulled in. Or I can just throw it all in there manually. No reason not to. Alright, so now we will go back inside. Ooh. If you go too fast, you go flying. Anyway, we can see now that we have almost 300 uranium and 100 ammo, and we'll make a run out at some point to replenish the ammo after we get more magnesium. Now, before I start flying, I want to check all of our antennas here, and I want to turn the range on them, for the most part, down, except for this one. And it didn't actually update these. Alright, so now they're all 1 kilometer. I don't think it matters as far as luring things in. It hasn't so far, but it does save power. But on this one, I'm going to crank the power up so that we've got the full 50-kilometer range. And then on the relay sat, I want its antenna to be the full 50-kilometer range. Alright, so now I am going to remote control. And then I am going to access the camera. I am going to turn on the gyros and the thrusters. And recharge mode is fine, I think, for now. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn our batteries on because I don't want to overload the power. And then I'm heading for that gold deposit again, because that I know is nearby the salvage station. Now we want to keep an eye on how far away we're getting from the Space Industrial Complex, because once we are 50 clicks out, we will no longer have a radio connection. So we're coming up on 1 click now. We may not get close enough to have a useful view of the... Why did that happen? The range was turned all the way up. That's not good. We're still getting a signal. Can we just not remote control it? That's kind of silly. We're not even 5 clicks out. What's going on here? Other than the massive lag. Maybe it's because I'm sitting in a couch, and that's not considered a proper connection, so it's only letting me use my suit antenna. Where's the freaking cockpit? There. Oh, come on, lag. You are not helpful. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Nope, we still don't have a connection. I admittedly do not understand. We're gonna chase after it. Stay within intended broadcast range. Hopefully we don't run out of life support and die. Still don't have it. One click out, still don't have it. Trick is going to be to intercept it without colliding with it. $500's too far. $300's too far. 200 works. Alright, so now we've got relative dampeners on. So we're keeping pace with it. Antenna, 5,000. Battery. We've got a surplus. Yeah, I don't understand it. Alright, so now we're stopped. And we should be able to see ourselves if we point the right direction. There we are. No, that's not us. That's an asteroid. Anyway, we're going to head back. And we will try to figure out what the problem is here. Alright, so this antenna says 50,000 meters. Enable broadcasting. I don't have access to the other thing, to the industrial complex. which if it's broadcasting 50,000 meters, it should. But I don't see an antenna signal from it. So maybe that's not working? Got a little more than half power on our life support. I keep forgetting I'm in the remote control and I'm turning the satellite rather than myself. I know the suit antenna has a limited range. I don't remember how limited, but it's definitely limited. I've never actually tried using Good Boy or Goodbot, whatever it's called. But apparently you can ask it stuff. We'll see how that goes. A limited range antenna. That's helpful. You turn it off and on with, oh, yeah, I knew that much. What's the limited range? Whatever. Because we were still getting the signal. Like we were getting the RSN data signal, the the RSN status signal. So the Space Industrial Complex was still communicating with it, but for some reason we weren't. – 43% suit power. I wonder if I need to be in a ship controller on grid. Maybe because I was in a couch on the Space Industrial Complex and then I was in a cockpit on the Mega Miner and the Mega Miner antenna was turned down to 1 click rather than 50. I'm going to try stopping this about 5 clicks out because I don't think I need to be all the way back. I mean, I know I won't be able to connect to it the way I was before, but I'm going to try that thing about the Mega Miner if I turn the Mega Miner range up. – 15 days of power when I'm using the engines. I think we're fine. 14% power usage, so we can put the battery on recharge even. I don't know if that does overload. The battery provides much more power than a small reactor. All right, 4 clicks will do for now. – Let's make sure that we're stopped. All right, I'll shut the suit dampeners off and get ourselves back to the Space Industrial Complex with the 30% power that we've got left. I'm still only seeing the SIC bookmark, not the antenna. 2 clicks out. Now I'm seeing antennas. Suit power is getting very low. It's okay because we're here. All right, so get everything recharged. We didn't use up any of our bottle. 1,000 meters, 1,000 meters, 1,000 meters, 50,000 meters, 1,000 meters. I don't remember if I did the whole turning this off and back on thing that you, for some reason, need to do to make it obey. But anyway, so we're sitting in the Mega Miner now. I'm going to turn the Mega Miner's broadcast range up to 50,000. And I still do not have access to the relay set. If I close this and open it again, oops. Now I have it. Alright, flip around again. Where are we pointing? Out here. Alright, so we're 3.5, almost 4 clicks out, and we still got signal. Five clicks, still got signal. Different color for that doesn't blend into the asteroid so much would be nice. Just make sure I don't press 9 and turn the antenna off, that'd be bad. 7 clicks out. You can still see it at 8 clicks out. That's cool. I mean, you can't really make out many details, and I mean, that's part of the thing here is we want to be able to make out details and try to see if we can figure out where the turrets are. But if we can still see it at 8 clicks out, we should be able to get some decent views from 1 click out, and 1 click out will still be outside of turret range. Hopefully we don't get so swarmed by salvage drones that we run out of ammo while we're still trying to get more magnesium. Ten clicks out. So we're shooting for that one up in the top, just off to the right. That says 64 clicks right now. That's the one we're moving towards. I think we can still see it, even at 14, 15 clicks out. I think it's impossible to make out any details given what color it is and is up against an asteroid backdrop, but yeah, we're still seeing it. Excuse me. So we can see the SIC and the MM antenna now. I don't know why we weren't seeing the SIC before, maybe because I didn't do the power cycle thing. Apparently you have to power cycle your antennas before they'll notice you. And everything else was set to one click, so of course it didn't work. Like all the other antennas weren't supposed to work. It was supposed to be the SIC antenna that was doing all the heavy lifting there. But SIC is a bookmark. U cave entrance and U $ is a bookmark. SIC antenna and MM antenna are actually transmitting and apparently within range. And it's not within range of us, even though some of the other signals are based on their range from us, like the unknown signal and the Mayday signal that keeps popping up is within range of us, sitting over on the mega miner. But if it was what's in range of us sitting on the mega miner, we'd be able to see the colonizer antenna, the fighter antenna, the welder antenna, and all that stuff because they're within a click, within 1 kilometer. About halfway through our range now. Still working. So yeah, it must be power cycling of the SIC antenna that was the problem before. It's kind of an annoying bug. Back in the early episodes when I was having trouble accessing the scout drone, this probe, remotely, I think that was the problem. I ended up reloading the game and that solved it. But I think if I had just turned the antenna off and back on again, that would have worked as well. We are still not in range of the salvage station. Still going well. I'll probably start slowing down at around 40 clicks and try to shoot for about 45 because I don't want to be on the edge of our range. Like if we get bumped or something because we're getting into a fight or whatever, I don't want to go out of range. So we'll give ourselves a little bit of a margin. Oh, I meant to take a book or a blueprint of this and I didn't. We'll have to do that. I definitely should have though, because we could build another one of these to refuel these. Like with the medium cargo container, we can fly out a decent amount of ammo and uranium just with another relay set. But there's less reason for a cargo drone to have the solar panels on it. I could have just left those off, I guess. Still no sign of the salvage station. I don't remember how close we got last time when I took a mulligan. I'm not super eager for that since I don't have that much ammo on here. Because as soon as we're in range, we're going to have to start dealing with those salvage drones. If we stay out of range, they won't be a problem. It was kind of questionable whether or not we were going to actually get close enough to scope it with just one relay set anyway. Still no sign of it. Almost to the point where we want to start slowing down. And we've probably wallowed a little bit, so I'm just going to engage the dampeners to slow down rather than monkeying with the directional thrust. But then I'll turn them back off again when we get to about 30 or so. And then we'll coast a little bit more slowly out to about 45. Still nothing. See the asteroid, but we can't see the SIC anymore. At least I don't think we can. No. Looks like we are drifting some. Not a big deal. Still no salvage station. Bag. That might be it loading in. Maybe not. Maybe my game just sucks, or my system just sucks, really is what it is. Alright, so we're at 44. I'm going to slow down a little more. Down about 20. Slow down a little more again. Overshot our target by just a little bit, but that's fine. Not so much that I'm going to mess with it. And just confirm that we don't have the salvage station anywhere on screen. We do not, because if I remember right when we were flying over, it was off thisward direction, away from the planet. So just to confirm. Yeah, because that platinum one's not in range, so it must be over in this general word direction. But we don't have contact with it yet, and I'm okay with that. So the connector will go ahead and turn on, because it doesn't take that much power, and if we fly up to it, we don't want to have to find it. The battery we are going to leave on auto in case we run out of uranium. The gyro and the thrusters we're going to leave on for stability. And the turrets we're going to leave on to defend ourselves. Now, let's see if we can figure out what's going on here with antennas. If I come back in here and turn this antenna back down to where I actually want it at 1,000, because this one is at 50 now and functioning at 50, we can still access the relay sat. Okay, whatever. And we can still control the relay sat? Yes. We can still control it. Okay. Yeah, it must have been the need to power cycle it. Let's see if we can do it from the couch. It's on the other side. No, it's up. There we go. Still getting a signal in. Still have most of our uranium. And we're still able to access it. And control it from the couch. Sweet. Alright. Well, that was what I wanted to test. That was our goal for this episode. I need to go ahead and cut off here so I can upload this in time. One of these days I'll stop putting this off to the last minute and be able to record a slightly longer episode, but that's not today. So go ahead and subscribe. I think what we're going to do next episode is, I guess we'll take the mega miner out for the magnesium and I'll do that on camera just because I don't think I've actually run the Mega Miner on camera with the new methodology where I build a rail to attach it to. I did that um, with the ice deposit, but I did it off camera. So yeah, we're gonna go get some magnesium and bring it back here and make the rest of the ammo that we have queued up and have since offloaded entirely onto Assembler 2 and not done any work at all on Assembler 1. Um, that's a little bit awkward. I might try to automate something with that rather than using cooperative mode because cooperative mode doesn't seem that clever. But we can see here that we have 0.44 kilograms of magnesium and that's it. And I guess we need more than that to make even one of these. Yeah, we need one full ingot to make one of these ammo containers, and we don't even have quite half. So we definitely need more magnesium. Subscribe to see that happen. Likes, comments, and verbal abuse are welcome. In another episode or two, we'll do some more coding. I think the goal at that point is actually going to be some method of automatically piloting to an antenna. Like we're going to, get the relay sat to broadcast its location, and then we'll have something that can hopefully, that this is going to be complicated. I'm not entirely sure I understand the code for how it works yet. Um, so I might work on that some off camera just to get that ready so I don't have to sit here and try to figure it out and alt tab back and forth to Google a bunch of times. Um, the main problem is going to be turning towards it. I know a remote control block can do most of it, but I don't like the way the remote control block autopilot, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to try to build my own with code. Um, so, yep, tune in for that. And well, thanks for watching. See you next time.